Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, the champion, fighting out of Los Angeles, California. This man is a movie snob with a background in fighting and a lifelong addiction to all things superhero-related. Presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed host of the show, the Iron Cube.
Alright, welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode number 120 of the Iron Coop Fights movies. This episode is available on iTunes, Google Play, and hosted by SoundCloud. We now have a Facebook page for the podcast you can follow for updates, as well as my 1/6 scale figure reviews. This week, the team reviews It Chapter 2, followed by movie, television, and video game news. I'm Kia, your host. With me on the show today are my co-hosts Emerson.
Hey, what's going on?
And Everett.
Hey, what's up?
Alright, so I was looking at our SoundCloud plays, and we had like 682 plays on the Teen Titans Go to the Movies. That's our highest played episode on SoundCloud.
On SoundCloud, yeah.
And the second closest was like 200 something.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
So who are these people?
Yes, let us know if you're a Teen Titans fan, I guess.
I mean, yeah, that's interesting. Like, what about that episode? Like, people are just finding it on their own.
Well,
They're
it
not,
might be like
regular listeners.
It could be a confluence, right? Because, you know, a lot of people younger, like, watched the original Teen Titans show, and now there's or older people watch the original Teen Titans show, and now there's a new one. So maybe it was just like kind of like a cross-generational subject that everyone was kind of interested in.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'm going to explain our rating system. On this show, we give the titles we've watched with a rating of win, draw, or loss. A win is a title that we would highly recommend, while a draw is a title we didn't love but recognize others may appreciate. A loss means we do not recommend the title. If you have not seen the review of the week and would like to avoid spoilers, check the show notes for the timestamp so you can still hear our news sections. All right, I'm getting a call. All right. It's Jade. Hopefully she's not having a heart attack. Because I just ignored the call.
Oh, God.
It's okay. I can text her and say podcast. And she'll be like, oh, sorry. Okay. So, defeated by members of the Losers Club, the evil clown Pennywise returns 27 years later to terrorize the town of Derry, Maine once again. Now adults, the childhood friends have long since gone their separate ways. But when people start disappearing, Mike Hanlon calls the others home for one final stand. Damaged by scars from the past, the united losers must conquer their deepest fears to destroy the shape-shifting Pennywise, now more powerful than ever. Alright.
Did you see this?
No.
I'm assuming no. Okay.
No, I'm
Everett should go
to
first.
rip it.
Yeah, I want
Everett
to
should
go
go
first. I want to go
Okay,
first.
Everett, your rating?
Well, I want. Can I take a second just to talk about something real quick?
Okay.
I just want to bring up one more time how I don't understand how people can be so damn disrespectful when we go to the movies. I probably had what was probably within my top 3 worst theater experiences watching this movie. And it still mind boggles me how people are just so oblivious to the fact that they're annoying in public to other people trying to enjoy the movie.
Well, I'll say this. Yeah. One, I agree with you. And the moment that we can watch new releases at home, I will never go to the theater again. But there's a thing about horror movies in which that's more of a social thing than just watching a movie inside of your own head.
Because you're supposed to get scared, react.
Yeah, the audience laughs, they scream.
Oh, no, I completely agree with that. However, that's not an excuse to sit on your phone looking at Snapchat the entire time.
Oh, yeah, I had people in the theater Snapchatting, like, parts of the movie. Like, I was watching that, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is this is because of the type of person that goes to horror movies.
Yeah.
They think it's fun, and they like try to like document their experience for likes. Because you don't really get that in other movies as often.
No.
Like,
no,
I saw it a lot in Lion King, because the stupid parents were like, oh, now my kid is reliving my experience. Let's take photos in the fucking theater. But,
Gotta build those family memories somehow, right?
but people that go to horror movies, I feel like they have like a lower standard for films.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
Especially those who go to the theater. Because, like, when I watch a horror movie at home, which is very rare, like, I'm interested in seeing what it is. But yeah, the person who goes, like, on an opening night is usually a different type of individual.
And it's like horror movies are all about your experience in a way. Like, it's less about the film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the reasons I don't like them. Like, I don't like having to sit there and then being forced to just get scared. Like, I don't like that. Some people think that's fun. It's like roller coasters when your stomach drops when you're like on the ride. Like, some people think that's fun. I think I'm like, why would I do that to myself? It's sort of like it's just that perspective. But yeah, was there anything else, Everett?
Well, no, I wanted to go through my experience real quick and just tell you what happened, and then I'll tell you my review. But basically this happened in 3 parts. Part 1 was when I walked in and sat down. There was this, I want to say, a group of 8 people. 6 of them were screaming teenage girls that would not shut up the entire movie. I kind of give them a pass though, because like you said, that's what happens in horror movies. Like whatever, it was still annoying.
But that's one reason why I don't like to see them.
Yeah.
Especially in the theater.
So then the movie starts, and around 15 minutes into the movie, 2 more girls come back and sit basically 3 seats down from where I am, and they start yelling at the people sitting there. They're like, we need to see your tickets. We bought these tickets as part of a package. We're supposed to be sitting here. Can you please show us your tickets? And they're being really loud. The movie's already started. These other people sitting down are just trying to be polite. So they eventually just stop the argument and just sit, 2 seats down where they didn't buy their tickets. And they're obviously annoyed, but they're giggling to each other and talking. And, I'm like looking over at them, basically giving them the death stare, not trying to talk, but, they're not paying any attention. And then at one point, like halfway through the movie, they just get up and leave, and they don't come back. I don't know why. But then...
So many people like that. Yeah. They have no attention span for the movie.
But then the worst part happens. After they leave, like, I don't know, like 45 minutes into the movie or so, these other people walk in, 3 dudes, like I think they were theater hopping. They come in, they sit right next to me, and then in a row, 3 of them in a row are on their phones the entire damn time. They come halfway through the movie and then they leave 10 minutes before it ends. On their phones the whole time. Like nonstop, every 2 minutes, pulling out the phone, the light. Especially in a movie like this where it's a horror movie where I'm trying to pay attention, I felt like it kind of hindered my experience where I'm trying to look at the movie and, try to analyze it, and I'm distracted by light in my peripheral vision and like chatting every once in a while. And they keep getting up and sitting back down and leaving the theater, and it's annoying as fuck. And I can't handle it anymore. Something always fucking happens.
Everett's about to snap.
I am about to snap.
It's really awful, yeah.
I don't understand it. Like, people today do not understand theater etiquette. Like, they tell you to turn off your fucking phone before the movie.
I think people have never understood. I think now, though, like, movies have become, like, more... Not more mainstream, but, like, it's more of, like... I don't even know how to put this. I just feel like it's a lot more people going to a lot more movies who don't really care. And they're going to be part of, like what Kia said, for likes or for like, oh my god, I'm part of the experience now, and like they pay a very small amount or they jump in. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, there was actually a thread about this on Reddit where someone was like, yeah, I had to tell this guy to be quiet and he threatened to fight me. And, to be honest, there was like a significant amount of people saying, like, kind of defending the guy that was talking.
Really?
Yeah. And it wasn't the majority at all. But I'm just like, there's so many dumb people. Like, and then there's a conversation of what's the right way to handle that. Should you go get an usher? And my thing is, like, there used to be ushers in the theater, and they basically just stopped paying them. And if you get up, like, I don't want to get up to go tell somebody because I actually want to see the movie. Pretty much every movie I go to is opening weekend. That means I want to be there, and I want to see every second of the film. I don't want to get up and go tell the guy, it's like some 16-year-old, hey, can you go tell this guy to be quiet? It's like, first of all, I don't need the 16-year-old. The only thing is that it's his job to do it, and it's not my job to do it. So if I do it, like, it could potentially escalate,
Right.
As opposed to like, it's almost better when because Jade always shushes the people. When she shushes them, that moron guy is not going to stand up and threaten to fight her. But he might do it to me.
And then you'll have to beat the crap out of it.
If he does threaten me, like, I probably am going to fight him. So, like, it's better that I say nothing because it's not worth it. But then you go get the usher, and the usher doesn't come, or he stands in the corner, and of course, like, the guy's not doing it while the guy's there, so nothing happens. And even if he does do it, it's still a huge distraction if the guy comes over and talks to him. The whole thing is just like, why?
Yeah, and
why
then
am I here?
Even if the guy is silent after you, like, deal with it, then you've ruined your experience. You've talked about this before where, like, you can't take it out of your mind that, like, okay, I had an engagement with this guy. What's he going to do? I think it's almost the question of, like, is he going to be calm about it? You're out of the movie.
Right. So, like, I really don't know what to do other than I'm waiting for this whole movie thing to just crash and burn. Like, there will come, because you know what, the movie theaters, they want your money. Like, they want the money of those idiots that come and they're on their phones. They don't care. And even in that Reddit thread, people were saying, like, yeah, Alamo Draft House or whatever, like those theaters, those specialty theaters that serve you dinner, and they're really serious, they'll kick you out. Even in that thread, they were saying they don't really kick you out. Like, for a lot of people, a lot of the time, they just, like, the servers ignore it. Nothing really happens. And I believe it.
And that makes sense, because if you're a server, you don't want to have to get these type of, like, engagements every day, like, and it always is going to be annoying. So, like, I get why the servers wouldn't do their job.
Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, but I just don't necessarily understand. We were all taught the etiquette of a theater, which is why we don't do that.
I don't think so.
I was.
I think it stopped around, like, when you were a kid.
Really?
Because do you see, like, there's not that many things before the movie that say turn your phone off. There's, like, one thing, and everyone's on their phone during that time.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I mean, I'm probably gonna sound old, and maybe I shouldn't be saying anything because I'm still a young guy that uses my phone a lot. But when I was a kid, there weren't that many, like, iPhone-esque phones. So
yeah, obviously.
People didn't really have the opportunity to use them in the theater. So we didn't really have that problem when we were younger. But nowadays, where, like, 5-year-olds have iPhones and iPads, you can't really stop using them. And one's really
Dude, honestly, the kids aren't even the worst part. There's, like, middle-aged people who are addicted to their phone, and they have the brightness all the way up, and they're sitting there, like, texting their stupid friend. Like, I read their text because fuck them. Like, if they're doing that, I sit there and I read, and it's always like dumb shit.
Yeah, it's like a different breed of idiocy. The old people who, like, don't understand, like, I have my brightness on max, and, like, they're just ignorant morons. And then it's the young people who are like, I don't give a fuck if you disagree with me. It's like two different types. It's a confluence of morons. That's what it is.
And then there's, like, the older people that have no idea what's fucking going on. Like when we saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I shushed them 3 times, and they didn't even give a shit.
Yeah. I'm looking up right now, like, is it possible yet to watch new in-theater movies at home?
I came home and I immediately looked that up. Apparently there's it's been brought up a shit ton, but, like, all the movie theaters are boycotting it because that's they're going to lose all their money.
The jobs. And also there's the argument of, like, the thing is, a lot of people don't give a shit about the movie. They go to the movie to be in the theater and, like, oh my god, I went to the movies. So, like, a lot of people, I suspect, if it was like, oh, get it on your TV, they'd just be like, I'll just wait a while till it drops in price. So, like, I bet they'd make less money off of it.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm probably going to sound old, and maybe I shouldn't be saying anything because I'm still a young guy that uses my phone a lot. But when I was a kid, there weren't that many, like, iPhone-esque phones. So people didn't really have the opportunity to use them in the theater. So Well, I mean, I like going to the theater. I would like going to the theater a lot more if the rules were more strictly enforced.
I'd like going to the
But-
theater if it was just me in the theater. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but like nowadays, I really do want to watch current movies at home because I feel like it'd be a lot better viewing experience. I can turn it off whenever I want if I don't like it. I can make my own food. There's not annoying ass people talking. Not to mention, nowadays, when I go into a theater, there's always that creeping thought in the back of my head thinking, what happens if someone comes in here, like with a knife or a gun, and tries to kill someone? Because, like as with any crowded public place, it's a target, regardless of whether or not you think it's going to happen. So that you completely eliminate that. There's a lot of benefits to it, but, like I just said, a lot of the theater companies are boycotting it because that's the only way they make their money. You completely eliminate that not ad revenue, but just revenue. So, but there's a lot of like movie directors. Like I know Steven Spielberg is in support of it, and I want to say Ron Howard, but I might be getting his name wrong. But,
Yeah, I'm done. Like if we weren't doing this podcast, I don't want to go to the movies for anything. It's so, and it's not even great to watch it at home, honestly. Because there's like distractions around and whatnot, but like I like going into the theater and turning off my phone and just like sitting there and being immersed in it. But unless you're able to go in the middle of the day on a weekday, or like in a small town on a weeknight, it's really not worth it. Like yeah. I like where I live, Ev. Like you've been to the theater with me. Mm-hmm. Aside from that one time we went with all the old people and actually in the morning on a weekday. Like it's been pretty good in that theater. Like we haven't really had any incidents there, have we?
Other than the older people, and we saw Aladdin there, right? I don't think anything happened during Aladdin.
No, the theater's usually not packed. It seems like people are quieter, nicer. I don't know. I'm okay with that. But when I lived in the Valley, like it had a lot of people on their phones constantly. Mm-hmm. And I don't miss that theater at all.
I mean, I like the theater that I go to. I go to the AMC over by the Oaks Mall, and it's
that's
a really
pretty popular one, though.
It is a pretty popular one, but it's a really good viewing experience. But I find that because it's an AMC and because it's popular, a lot more people show up and are annoying. So that's the downside. But if you subtract that, it's a really good viewing experience. It's got a big screen. The seats are comfortable. I always sit in the back corner, and it looks great no matter where you sit. So I'm happy with it, but they really need to fix the talking problem, the phone problem. I don't know what to say.
All right, let's move on. What's your rating, Everett?
All right, so for It 2, I'm going to give it a draw. So I walked into this movie with an expectation that was not met.
If you give it a draw, that means it's a real loss.
Yeah. Honestly, I probably would give it a loss, but I have a bias towards the first movie and towards the book. So I give it a draw because, there were parts in it that I liked. I liked some of the performances. Like, I liked Bill Hader. And there was a couple others that, kind of piqued my interest. I like Pennywise, like the last one, but something about this movie just seemed a tad bit awkward. Some of the dialogue that they wrote didn't fit very well. Some of the jokes were very poor timed. And it does continue off from the first one, and there are a few decent jump scares. And, the animation and the scares are good, but I don't know. It doesn't hold up, in my opinion. It's a decent movie, but it's not one I'd see more than once. And I don't know. It doesn't hold up to the first one. That's the best way I can describe it.
The first one doesn't hold up.
I really enjoyed the first one. And it really sucks because I walked into this movie expecting this movie to be that. Like, the one we discussed. The continuation of, the story. But then, I don't know. It kind of fell short.
I'm going to say this before Emerson gives his review. I think a big sign that this movie was not going to be great was the runtime. 2 hours and 40-something minutes. That right away told me, I'm like, I don't know about that. Because no horror movie needs to be that long. Horror movies are like 90 minutes or a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
So, Emerson?
So this movie is a hard loss.
It's hilarious.
I still stand by that the first movie was good. I don't know what. So basically, remember how I said that in the first movie, part of the reason I liked it is they were able. No. Because the thing is, the gloves are off on the first one for me. I don't know why you dislike the first one so badly. Like, I do, but
Nothing happens.
We made our points. No, things happen, but like, okay. Remember how in the first one I said that like what I liked about it is it's faithful to the book while also keeping out some of the weirder shit like the orgy. Okay, This movie flips that where it's less faithful to the book, but the stuff it keeps in is the weird shit. And I was like, there's no way you're going to be able to explain this shit. And like, oh God, okay. So I think there were so many jump scares and everyone was exactly the same. I hated them all. They were so stupid. It's literally strange thing happens. Character looks at something, building scary music. Character looks, oh, it turns out it's nothing. Music cuts out. Character turns around, monster. That is every single jump scare. Every single one. And I'm not saying like a lot of them follow. I mean, there are probably 30 jump scares in this movie, and every single one follows that exact thing to the point where I knew the minute it was going to happen, and I was like, this is stupid. I thought the CGI on the monsters was garbage. It was like they were like clay and animated, and I was like, it was just like, it was actually not scary after the jump scare because they looked so like weird. The ending was trash. I think that was like absolute nonsense. I understand why they did that instead of the real thing, but it's like it just completely defeats the entire point of the book. Pennywise is simultaneously much more brutal and still doing the thing where he's like, I won't kill you, but I'll fuck with you. It's so rage inducing. The movie is so long. They try so hard to explain things that are just like stupid and take too long to explain. And it's just like, it's jumping around in time and like retconning things. And it's so aggravating the way it does it. And it's so aggravating the way it retcons things. Thank God people die, but almost all the characters are just annoying to watch. They're not fun. Like, Everett was right. Like, Bill Hader, he's funny. He was funny in the movie. But, like, I didn't care because, like, it's just like, oh, and by the way, like, spoiler, I'm not going to say anything, but we'll talk about it in a second. It's just, it just felt really preachy and really dumb. And, like, let me put it this way. When the movie ended, you could tell the way the movie ended was, like, it's supposed to be, it's time to clap moment. No one in the theater clapped.
Okay.
No
one. All right.
Like,
what?
Well, no, I was going to say, this movie does like an odd thing where if you compare it to the book did it a lot weirder and worse in a way.
The book was better. The second half of the book was better than this movie.
The book was weirder,
but it made sense from what it is. The way this movie changed from the book just defeats the entire point of the entire goddamn movie. And the first movie. This movie makes the first one worse.
Well, yeah, that's sort of what I was going to say. I was going to say they had a kind of an odd... How do I explain this? They had an odd time deciding on how to like explain things and do certain things to make this movie the way it was. You could either do it the way they did it in the book, which was so odd, and I'll discuss that when we get to the parts that I've marked down. They were so odd that there's no possible way that they could have explained it and made the movie viable. So what they did is they did it another way, but that way was much worse. But when you compare the two, it's kind of like an odd decision. Like, why the hell would you do it this way? I would have preferred the book version. At least that would have made a little bit more sense. But whatever, I'll talk about it when I get to. I have like 3 points where that comes up. So yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go into spoilers. So let me ask you. So the movie was much longer than it needed to be.
Agreed. Yeah.
So this is my opinion. I do not think it was necessarily. But I think they used the time. So the reason it's so long is because they're trying to explain things that we don't know unless you've read the book. That's why it's so long. So they beat you over the head with these stupid things to make you understand stuff that didn't need to be in the movie. So yes, you're right. The movie was much longer than it needed to be. The reason it's so long is they're trying to explain these stupid things like, oh, well, here's this thing about the past, or here's this flashback, or here's this thing, or actually it turns out that once you leave, your memory gets erased. Like, they're trying to explain these dumbass concepts, and they need forever to make sure the audience will understand. Because if they hint at it, people aren't going to get it because it's so weird and stupid. They literally spend a solid 25 minutes bashing us over the head with the idea that, hey, everyone who left Derry forgot about the clown.
And that was a supernatural phenomenon?
It's something to do with the clown. And also, by the way, they're all infected with a, like, moral disease that will slowly cause them to kill themselves over time if they don't defeat the clown right now.
The ticking clock.
Yes, true. And so, Kia, but here's my question. What do you think the movie starts with?
Well, going by the trailers, it seems like when she visits that old lady is probably the beginning.
No. The beginning is a new group of young bullies who attack two super stereotypical gay people who are like, so they attack them and are homophobic, and there's a girl with, I guess, herpes, and she's like, what's so romantic about being gay? And then they like beat this gay guy and throw him into the river, and then the clown eats the gay guy. That's the way it began, which was so stupid. It's like, oh great, more over the top bullies, fantastic.
Man,
that was definitely an odd.
No,
scene
and
to
then we
watch.
get to see some time of like what all the losers are doing as adults, okay? And that I actually
cool.
liked. No,
Yeah.
it is cool, and all the guys are super successful. Stanley is this big insurance broker. The fat guy is like in shape, and he works at architecture
He's an
firm.
architect.
Yeah, but he's lonely. Bill is married and he's a writer, but everyone hates his endings. I'm like, oh, what a nice nod.
Yeah.
Everyone hates his endings.
I was going to bring that up. That's kind of ironic. That's like a trope throughout the whole movie that they keep bringing up his shitty endings, and then the movie has a shitty ending.
The movie did not benefit from it. But anyways, the only thing is I'm like, okay, so they're all successful. So like whatever. Richie is like a stand-up comedian now. Who's like very famous.
Who's that? Tell me the actors.
The
Bill
star
Hader.
from Stranger Things. Bill Hader as an adult.
Bill Hader.
Yeah, he's like a super successful comedian. That guy who had the mom who was insane, this was actually a funny joke. Do you remember the guy who had the super fat mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's married, and the actress who plays his wife is the same actress who played his mom.
That's
so,
funny.
like,
Yeah.
that was a funny joke, and at one point he, like, gets flustered, and he's like, listen, Mom, I understand. And she goes, Mom? And he's like, goodbye, and he, like, hangs up. That was, like, a funny joke. But fucking Beverly, she is married to an abusive guy who literally starts beating her in their opening scene. It's so stupid. It's like everyone's like, "Oh wow, they all made it," and I'm like, she's still like making poor choices. Like, and then they somehow try to play off that she's like misses the good memories of her dad, even though her dad was a pedophile. I was like, all right, whatever. But so they do that. That's okay. All right. Like, I'm all right with like, okay, where are they now? But then when they come back, it's literally like, oh my god, we don't remember anything. And then it's just like, it starts literally fucking with them. And by the way, we see it actually kill like 4 people without fucking with them in this. He just
Were
like
any of
bites
them the main
people.
characters?
No.
No.
Well,
Bullshit.
yes, one was.
Eventually?
Eventually. So, okay, I'll list out the
So
deaths
did one of the kids
right
die?
now. Yes.
Yeah.
2 actually, but
The black kid.
No. I'll lay out all the deaths in this movie right now because I think it's valuable to put them out. Okay, at the start, it just randomly eats that gay guy. Okay.
Okay.
Then it
I'm not giving them credit for that.
No, I understand. Then at one point, it
Gay guys are delicious.
Nice. Stanley commits suicide at the start of the movie, so he's not in the movie anymore. Yeah,
The
that was the
Jewish
Jewish kid. He as an adult slits his wrists because he's scared of it, and he like
so when he
kills
hears
himself.
it is coming back, he slits his wrists.
Yes, and bleeds out in the bathtub. And I was just
Is
like,
he still
"All
wearing
right."
a yarmulke?
No, but he slits his wrist. Okay, whatever. Then
I want to talk about that later, by the way.
What a
Then-
bitch way to go out.
I know. And they try to like retcon it
Yeah.
at the very end that like, oh, actually it was not a bit like he was being heroic. I was like, no, he was being a fucking moron.
Well,
the way they
did he
explain
have to go back?
They made an oath to go back, but
it was stupid. It was stupid. But anyways, okay. It actually gets scary.
Did that happen in the book?
Yeah, that happened in
Yes.
the book. But there's a big problem because the way they did it in the movie was severely different from the way they did it in the book.
book, he was just terrified.
Yeah.
And like he kills him. But in the movie, they try to like twist it at the end that like, oh, actually, what he was doing was helping everyone. And I was like, yeah, let's stop glorifying suicide, please. But thanks.
They like explain it like his suicide brought the group together and gave them the courage they needed to be, stronger. That's such a BS.
They literally spent like 2 minutes on his suicide. They're like, oh my god, he killed himself, and then they're like, whatever. But then it actually becomes what it should have been. He lures this girl, like he using fireflies, this random little girl, like 7 or 8. He gets her like to like go off, and he's talking to her, and then he's like, oh, I'll count to 3 and help you, and he goes 1, 2, and like there's this pause. And she goes 3, and then he just eats her. He just fucking rips her head off. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, so it can kill people.
Wait, so who's that again?
This is like a little girl who's in the town of Derry.
Okay.
Then later, there's a little boy who does the same.
Wait. He killed a child.
Yes.
I thought one of the ways we excuse the first movie is that he took it easier on the kids.
No, the way it's explained, and the movie fucking retcons this again, the way it's explained is like they need to be scared for it to eat them. But like these kids, like at multiple times, everyone in this movie was terrified, and it like kind of leaves it. So he kills this child. Okay.
Okay, but how does this reconcile with the first movie?
That's what I'm saying. That's why this is such a loss, Kia. It's like what? But here's the problem.
Oh yeah, you said it makes the first one worse.
Yeah, if he had just started killing everyone in this movie. And, like, it turns out he could kill them all the time. It's like, okay, at least he's going to kill people. But he picks and chooses. Like, he kills this kid. There's another boy. You know in the trailer there's those scene where he's in the House of Mirrors. And it's going after a little kid. Well, McAvoy is trying to stop it. McAvoy watches it kill the kid in the Hall of Mirrors. Another kid. And I'm like, okay, sick. But the thing is, then he, like, basically refuses to kill the group, the losers, until he literally stabs Eddie and kills him.
Which one's Eddie?
At the very end, he was the
germaphobe.
kid. Yeah, he was the kid with the fat mom who was like controlling.
So that's the one that died?
Yes.
Yeah.
He stabs and kills him. And I was like, fucking finally. But those
Who
are the
plays him?
deaths. I'm forgetting his name.
I have it
Famous
right here.
guy?
James Ransone.
Oh, no.
No, so he kills him, and then it's like, do you remember the last death is, do you remember the bully who killed his dad in It 1?
The bully who killed his dad. I thought the girl killed her dad.
No. Beverly.
Henry
like,
Bowers.
The bully,
Henry Bowers.
The mullet kid.
So he plays a big-ish role in this. He's in a mental asylum now, like, and it basically starts using him to like to kill the group, basically. Okay, he tries to get. Yeah, it helps him escape and like drives him to kill the group, which in the book is really terrifying because it is basically using him to like solve the problem. In this, he like runs around like he's like It Light, and like he just gets axed in the back of the head, and everyone's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier when I gave my review about awkward moments in this movie. There's one scene where Henry Bowers sneaks up on Eddie when he's in the bathroom and stabs him in the face, like in the cheek, with a knife. And so Eddie goes and hides in the bathtub and then pulls the knife out and through the shower curtain stabs Henry Bowers in the chest. And as this man is hobbling around with a knife sticking out of his front, he walks by and goes, "Should shave that mullet, dude. It's been like 20 years.
Yeah, they try to like combine humor with like their crappy horror, and it doesn't work at all. And building on that, Kia, every single character has a moment where they confront it as an adult in this, alone, just like the first one. And every single character has multiple flashbacks to things we never saw in the first movie, and the time frame is wrong. You know how the ending of the first movie is like it's the end of the summer and they're all going their separate ways?
Yeah.
Yeah, in this, like, I don't understand. In this, it's like, oh, actually, they hung out for a long time. They built, like, an underground castle that they all lived in. Like, Beverly and the fat kid had more weird, like, quasi-romances. Everyone, it turns out
So she didn't end up with the leader kid?
No, she ended up with the fat kid as an adult.
That's what I thought was going to happen in the first one.
No, that's what they did now. But now he's attractive, so it's okay.
Yeah, well, that's what you do.
Like,
you take a fat kid and you... That's what you
no,
do.
it's so annoying. But I'm not done. I'm still on this rant. You have to understand, they're showing multiple flashbacks of multiple different points of time, and I have no idea what points of time these are in. So it's like, they're showing like other times as a kid when they interacted with it, and some of the times I think are after it's already been dead, and it's just like, it's so dumb and like stupid and confusing, and like, it achieves absolutely nothing. The whole movie, like the whole first half of the movie is just shitting on Ben, who's the grown-up fat kid, and like, Beverly is like directly, because it's like, Beverly like shows him the note, and she's like, that he wrote to her, and Beverly's like, I'm starting to get flashes of when Bill wrote this to me, and he like gets depressed, and it literally is like I'm watching like The Bachelor or something, where it's like Bill and Beverly are sharing a moment, and Ben's in the background like looking like, oh my god, like they don't know it's me, like it's just, oh fuck, it's so bad.
Almost 3 hours.
Bad.
Emerson, out of curiosity, did you catch the Stephen King cameo in this movie?
Yeah, I did catch the Stephen King cameo. It's not subtle at all, Everett. We spend like 10 minutes looking directly at Stephen King. Like, and he like has a long conversation with McAvoy's character. And I'm like, you're not Stan Lee, bro. No one gives a fuck that you're in this shitty excuse for a movie. Like go away. like you're not gonna be in your cinematic Stephen King universe, which is what they're trying to do, by the way. Because I have a bad news for you. All of Stephen King's books are connected, and Pennywise makes a reappearance. So whoop-de-doo.
Which one?
In one of his short stories, I'm forgetting which one, there's a character in the sewers of Derry, Maine, after the events of it, and he finds a plaque that says Pennywise lives, and then there's been an interview where the guy says, we have many more stories, and this is the director, I think, says we have many more stories that tell about Pennywise. And I'm like, oh, God.
Pennywise sucks.
Yeah, he does suck. He didn't suck in the first movie, but he sucks now. And you're gonna disagree with that and be like, I think he sucked the whole time. Now he sucked the whole time because they completely like were like, oh, it turns out, oh my, the ending makes it so. Oh God.
But we were talking about this with video games, but like, do you think that it's because maybe I'm a little older that I saw the writing on the wall?
I don't think so. I think it's because you didn't give a fuck. That's what I think. Because I think me and Everett had a connection to the book.
Oh, okay.
And so we're like, oh, okay, like, we're seeing this. And, like, I do think the first one is a fair adaptation of the first half of the book. So I'm like, all right. But I think you're coming in and you're like, what the fuck is this? But the thing is, if you had read the book, Kia, you'd be even more like, what the fuck is this for the second one? Thank God you didn't go see it. Thank God you didn't waste money and time to go see this
never let you guys hear the end of it.
For a fucking shitty-ass film. No, we haven't even gotten to the worst parts yet. I'm still going.
I want to ask you.
Well, there's one part I want to bring up at one point.
Okay.
Here, let me ask you first. Out of curiosity, if you had to take one guess at how they explain Pennywise's origin, what would you say it was?
This is what I was about to bring up.
Okay, I'm going to go with like some sort of superhero origin, like a failed experiment gone wrong.
No.
No. Okay, so in the book, first of all, it's a little weirder in the book because the book's a lot more detailed. They explained in the book that he's this extra-dimensional creature.
Oh, wait, we
that's
knew
like,
this.
Well, we knew that. Yeah. He's like this extra-dimensional creature, and there's like a turtle that created the universe named Maturin that comes to Bill and gives him a vision on how to defeat the monster. This is in the book. In the movie, they can't explain that. That's way too weird. So instead, they show you this really drawn-out Native American flashback of how Bill, first of all, drugs McAvoy and shows him the vision that he saw when he went to go see these elders of, like, its origin. They basically just play it off as Pennywise is an alien that fell from space and has been living under Derry for, like, hundreds of years. and it's just so
An
awful.
alien clown.
Yeah. Well, no, an alien
okay,
that
so
takes the vision of a clown.
Yeah, here's what I want to say. I actually was okay with the way they explained his origin here. So basically, he's this creature that crash landed, and when he crash landed, he was killing the Native Americans. The thing is, he didn't understand what scared them, so initially he was more of a primordial force. In the vision, it shows that he took the form of like a large bird, or then like an
Jake,
ogre.
can you stop farting and leave?
And now it's publicized.
Get out.
He takes like it's actually I think it's a cool sequence where it shows him like crash landing and he just starts and the Native Americans are trying to fight him. They don't understand what he is, and he's
What did he look like when he landed?
At first he took the form of a skeletal bird. He was like a massive skeletal like the body of like a raven with like nothing on it. And he was like attacking them, and then bit by bit as he understood human fears, he started to take different forms. Like he went from that to like a wolf-like creature, from the wolf-like creature to an ogre, and then he slowly became the clown. But basically the Native Americans tried to fight him and failed, but they also realized he couldn't leave this town, so they all moved. They left.
Why
and I actually
kind of
because he has to stay next to where he crashed. Because there's this thing that, like, essentially gives him life. He's a being in multiple dimensions, and the thing that gives him life can't move. It stayed where he crashed.
So what's that 27 years thing?
The 27 years is just, like, that doesn't get fucking explained. He hibernates, basically.
Yeah, they explain it better in the book. They basically
but in the movies, they're like, well...
So the thing that gives him power only gives him power every 27 years?
Basically, the way it works is... So he's not a clown, obviously. He takes the form of these three lights called the Deadlights. They're like this really dark, eldritch energy that every 27 years have to be refilled with energy. So he goes out and kills kids, feeds on fear, and then, like Emerson said, hibernates and does it again and again and again. And he's been doing it for hundreds of years. That's what I wanted his origin to be. I didn't like the alien thing because I felt like it could have been played off so much more as like an ancient being, not from space. Like, you know, like the Lovecraftian, strange, unexplained, mystical force.
I think it sounds cool. Like, I would kind of maybe like to see a movie about the Native Americans fighting a monster.
I think it was really sick. Like, that's why I liked that concept where it's like, and what I liked about it too is he wasn't fucking with them. He was just killing them. Because, like, he was terrible. He didn't understand them. Well, but also it's like he didn't understand them. They didn't understand him. It was like a first contact, and they're just like, no one knows what's going on.
I would love to see a movie where they try to figure out what the hell that is.
Yeah, no, it'd be cool, I think. But anyways,
what stops its killing spree every 27 years?
It's when he's full. No, but Ikea, I haven't even.
That could be a good movie.
The worst part. No, I agree. It could be, but we haven't even gotten to the worst part yet.
Okay. Well, let me ask you. The black guy. You guys haven't said anything about him.
Mike.
That's because he's like a nut the whole movie.
Yeah, he's basically a plot device to bring the characters together and to explain to the characters and the audience. He's the one who's like, don't you guys notice that none of you can remember what happened? And every character has a moment where they're like, oh my god, I don't remember what happened. And by the way, the movie tries so hard to like fit characterization into everyone. It's like, oh, by the way, Richie is gay. And I'm like, okay. All right.
Emerson,
which one is okay?
Emerson,
Richie's gay. Wasn't he like saying something about gays in the last movie?
Probably.
Like penises or something? Wasn't there some sort of?
What were you trying to say, Everett?
I was gonna ask, is your main point the ritual? Because I don't want to steal your thunder.
I'm gonna talk about the ritual, but Everett, my main point is how they kill it.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll let you discuss that.
Dumb as fuck. Do you want to talk about the ritual, and I'll talk about how they kill it?
I want to talk about the ritual, and then you can end it with that.
You go for that.
Wait. I just want to know, does the black guy, like, do anything this time?
Okay, he lies to them. And they get angry at him. Everett will explain.
So basically, in the book, they have this way of defeating the monster called the Ritual of Chud. Except they pronounce it Chud, I think, in this movie. It's basically, in the book, it's way different than this. In the book, it's an ancient ritual which is where the turtle comes in. If I start explaining all the shit that it has to do with, it's just going to be a snowball effect where I'm going to keep going and going. So basically, it's a battle of wills. In order to defeat the monster, you have to overpower it with your own self-will. That's why the turtle gives Bill the vision in the book, and they, gather the power to like overpower the monster and expose its weak points.
So many half-baked ideas involved in this.
Yeah, it's way different in the movie. It's just It's so fucking weird, man. Like, I understand why you didn't bring up the turtle and all the other weird Stephen King-esque bullshit, but the fact that they turned it into a thing where it's Mike. Mike's the black guy. Mike basically knew the whole time that the ritual wasn't gonna fucking work, and still told everyone that it was going to be fine. You're going to go around the entire movie and collect artifacts from your past, so that way you can sacrifice them in this little stupid pot that I have, set them on fire, and trap the monster for eternity.
How did he know it wasn't going to work?
He knew it wasn't going to work because when he got shown the vision of the Native Americans doing it, it showed Pennywise playing along and then murdering them all. He did not tell that to the group. He said, I have this ritual. You're all going to go around and collect an artifact from your past that has real significance for you. Except for Stan, we're going to find his in the form of a shower cap. And then they go down to where the monster was buried. They put him in a pot. They burn it, and they chant... I forget what they chant. Darkness smothers light or some shit. I don't know. And then it doesn't work, and then Pennywise calls him out and says, you're an asshole, you should have told everyone that it's not going to work, and then they never bring it up again.
Okay.
Why?
So that's garbage.
Doesn't this seem like a huge plot hole?
It's a massive plot hole, and it gets even worse.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen to this. This is a doozy.
So, first, after the ritual fails, everyone starts running from it, obviously, as it tries to attack them. They all have more individual horror moments, like Beverly's stuck in the bathroom, and Ben's stuck in the earth, and da-da-da-da-da. And for some reason, by the way, the characters' arcs in this are the same arcs from the first one again. Fucking Bill has to deal with, again, his whole thing is like, I am not responsible for killing my brother. And I'm like, yeah, we know that. Like, that was the first movie. And also... the reason Eddie dies by getting stabbed by it is because basically Beverly gives him a fucking fence post. Remember when they stab it in the head with a fence post? Yeah. In the first one? Beverly gives him the same fucking fence post and said, it kills monsters. And he goes, really? And she says, if you believe it does. I'm telling you, the first movie was the kids acting like adults. This movie is the adults acting like kids. So at one point, we get to see Eddie for a minute and a half going, I believe it kills monsters. I believe it kills... And he throws the fence post at it, and he thinks he's killed it. And then it's like... psych, and just stabs him in the heart.
Yeah. Let me give one comment about that. Mike and Beverly totally killed Eddie because Mike lied to everyone and said the power of belief is going to defeat the monster, and then Beverly gave him the fucking pole.
Apparently they were right.
And then Beverly gives him the pole and says it works if you believe it does, and then he believed, and then he died. And then, continue.
Here is how they kill it. Okay? It is now like 20 feet tall on 12 legs with a bunch of knives for hands. And he is literally trying to kill all of them. Out of nowhere, from literally nowhere, Bill goes, wait a minute. It is only what we believe it is. And all the characters are like, oh my god, you're right. And it's like, it's looking at them and it is saying what literally everyone in the theater was thinking. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm gonna kill you. and like
they had this bullshit rule throughout the whole movie. Like it started with the Native American shit, and Mike started bringing it up. The rule was a being has to follow the rules based on what shape it's in.
Yeah, but so, that I'm like, all right, fine. If it becomes a dog, it's not like a god. But I'm like, that doesn't even make sense because it's not like it. But whatever.
But he's a giant human with scissor hands.
Yeah, and he said, no, he's not. He has like 20 legs. He has multiple arms. He's 20 feet tall. He's literally going to kill them all. Okay?
What that basically means
they start chanting, no, Everett, I need this. You don't take this away.
But why wouldn't he just do that from the beginning?
Exactly. But it gets even dumber, okay? Bill's randomly like, he is what we believe he is, and you're just a little scared clown. And they all start hurling. They're like screaming insults at it. They're like bullying him. they're like, you're a little clown. You're just a scared little clown. It starts physically shrinking. He starts physically shrinking and like running away. He becomes a 3 foot tall, like super skinny clown. He's not even like their size. He's smaller than a child. He's like, and his voice changes to this. He goes, and they're all like, you're a scared little clown. They're like surrounding him like bullies in a high school. You're a scared little clown. You're a scared little clown. And then Bill goes, and you just have a small scared little heart. And he puts his hand into the It's chest, who's now 3 feet tall, takes his heart out, and the group all together crushes his heart, and it dies.
But that's not even like its original form.
Exactly, it's stupid. And apparently at any time anyone could have killed it by just being like mildly mean.
And how does he reach through its body?
Because it's like literally a cloth clown. They turn him into a toy. And he's like, he's doing this the whole. There's like a minute and a half of them getting ready to kill him, and it's just like, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? I'm like, what is this? It completely cheapens everyone's death. It completely cheapens everyone's sacrifice. It's so stupid. The scariest moment it has in this entire movie is not any of the stupid jump scares. It's not any of the replayed jokes. It's not when every character is literally replaying their exact same arc from the first movie. Even Beverly is with her exact same arc with her father. The scariest moment it has in this movie is when the actor who plays him appears without makeup.
Is that at the end?
No, it's in like the middle of the movie. He like Beverly opens the door and like she's talking to this guy and he turns and you realize it's it, but he doesn't have the makeup on and he's like applying the makeup to his face, but then he starts to like cut himself. That's like genuinely disturbing because it's like, what the hell is this? But that's the only scary movie or really scary point in this movie. Everything else is just cheap, stupid fucking jump scares, shitty CGI, hashed out ideas, and fucking Stephen King has the fucking audacity to appear in the movie for 10 minutes, jacking himself off. Like, no one gives a fuck, Stephen. You were on meth for half of these books anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this shit is like barely coherent.
Okay,
exactly.
Playing the devil's advocate, I'm going to say two things. Well, okay, I'm not defending the ending. All I'm going to say is at least it's accurate to the source material. But
no, it's not though, because in the source material there is another otherworldly being which gives the losers the power to defeat it.
No,
that makes more sense.
They rip its heart out in the book and the original movie. However, right, they do it much better in the originals.
No, look, the original book ending is weird as fuck too. Okay, the turtle thing is fucking weird. I acknowledge that. Okay, but at least it makes more sense if you're gonna have like this demon, that there's like this angel type thing that gives you the power and the knowledge on how to destroy it. That makes more sense. You know what doesn't make sense? Hey guys, let's just yell mean things at it and it'll be weak. It's like, okay.
The other thing I was going to say is this movie's terrible, but at the same time, it's not the worst Stephen King movie out there. If you ever want to watch the absolute worst Stephen King movie that exists, go watch The Langoliers. You will fucking die.
Oh, I've seen The Langoliers.
Why did you give it a draw, Everett?
I gave it a draw because honestly I would have given it a loss, but there are parts that I liked. I liked the acting, I liked some of the animation, and I'm biased towards what it represents. Honestly, like there are parts that I hate, but not enough for me to give it a loss.
So what's that scene in the trailer where the old lady like is its daughter?
That's when it's just it, by the way. And that's when Beverly goes to visit her father's house, and basically it's everything we see in the trailer, except the end result is Beverly remembers that her father raped her once. And that's like it.
So who's that old lady?
It's it.
Well, why was she talking about her father?
Because it was fucking with her.
Oh. I mean, I thought that part of the trailer was okay. Okay, well, Yeah, it seems like a total shit show. I had a question, I can't remember now. But so he's a skeletal bird at the beginning?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first form he takes.
So, and the only person he killed in his like ultimate form was Eddie?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the beginning, he's like killing people left and right. Like he's literally murdering like dozens of people. And they're running and they're trying to fight him and he's just like murdering people. He's just like he's going at him.
Honestly, even
these forms.
even that doesn't make sense because I don't know whether or not we conveyed it very well last week when we did like It One, but like the reason why he's the clown at all, and the reason why he targets children is because they're the best ones to get the fear out of. He doesn't normally kill adults, but he does it a lot, which honestly it makes the movie better because they're violent deaths. But
so why was he killing adults this time?
That's my point. Is it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be killing adults.
I thought he was out for revenge against the kids.
Well, yeah, there's that too, but he's not supposed to be murdering adult people. It's really only supposed to be children.
How was James McAvoy?
It was okay, I guess.
Mediocre at best.
Was it his fault or?
Honestly, none of
he
the
didn't
actors
have much to work with.
None of the actors really gave a standout performance. Pennywise was just doing what he did in the last movie, and everyone else just kind of blended together. And if I'm going to be honest, if I'm going to be honest, have you guys ever seen the first movie, like the original It TV movie?
Hell no.
Don't watch it because you'll hate it, but they honestly did the pacing and the story, I think, a lot better in that movie. Because first of all, they made it into one 3-hour-long movie, which is long. But they figured out a way to condense it where it starts out with the adults, and then throughout the rest of the movie, it's like very neatly quilted together with the kid scenes. Like they explain to you their past without fully showing you all the events, like in the form of flashbacks and stuff like that. But it works a lot better than the pacing they did in this movie because the kids feel like they don't belong in this movie at all. They show up and it honestly hinders the runtime. And
they look much older, don't they?
Yeah, like honestly it feels like they're phoning it in. They're not good actors. They weren't as good as the last movie at all.
I'm not a big fan of Jessica Chastain either.
Mediocre.
Yeah, like I said, none of the actors did a particularly stand-up job.
All right, is there a fight of the week?
Oh yeah, there's a fight of the week.
Okay.
But it's literally it's not even like what would we do? It's how would we, the three of us plus Ian, kill this fucking stupid clown? And I already know how we would do it. Apparently, Kia, all you would need to do is be like, hey, you look kind of stupid, and he'd like fall down. That's literally apparently all you would need to do.
I mean, well, the first thing would happen is he would kill Everett. Well, he would take Everett. Yeah. And then he would like not kill him and sort of toy with him and like scratch his face. And then I'd be like, is that all you're going to do? And then I'd start laughing. And then that would be the end of it.
Yeah, it'd be game over. It'd be stupid as hell. Also, like, the whole, like, he's as weak as the form he takes, that means that when he's a normal clown, Kia, if you punched him, he would, like, go down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they hit him in the head with a crowbar. I don't even need a crowbar.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, well, sorry. Dude, no, the real question is how do we monetize after we kill him? I say we, like, cage him and, like, send him around. Like, we, like, charge money for people to come see him.
Or we could, like, keep it alive, like, kill him, but then we'll pretend to be it.
Oh, yeah, and just fuck with people?
Yeah, just scare people. Yeah. I mean, people did that. They started walking
and then the great part is when the losers, like, are like, you're just a sad little clown. You'll be like, no, I'm not. And you'll just, like, grab one of them, and they'll be like, oh, shit, it doesn't work.
I mean, wouldn't that be a twist? Like, they kill it, but they turn out it's just a guy who was a murderer who was pretending to be it. Or maybe it was like one of the kids killed themselves, but then had become it. Like they were a murderer, not actually an alien entity.
The clown never existed in the first place.
When you kill him, they realize, like, it's their friend that they thought was dead. That might have been a different, interesting twist if you could, like, really write it. Just because it's so stupid anyway. It doesn't make sense anyway. Like, so whatever it was at the beginning, like, you might have to, like, come up with something there, but what he is now was just a murdering guy. And that would explain why he's killing adults instead of kids.
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't know. Anyway. All right, let's do some Roundup.
All right.
Have you guys ever seen The Good Place?
No.
So Jade was watching it, and I caught some of it. It intrigued me at first. My interest has like waned a tiny bit. It's got 3 seasons. Basically, The Good Place is, so everything you do in life gets like a score. So when you die, the top like 10% of the human population gets to go to The Good Place, like the highest scores. And so The Good Place, it's run by Ted Danson, who's like the director of The Good Place. You know, he's like he's an afterlife person, but he like makes it all nice for you. Your soulmate's there, like everything's great. It's filled with all these great people who did remarkable things. And Kristen Bell ends up there, and she's like a lawyer who got many people, innocent people, off of death row or whatever. And it's revealed at the end of I think the first episode that it's been a mistake. She has the same name as the person, but it's not her. And so she's trying to like not get discovered in The Good Place. So it's pretty funny, and like, I don't know, some of what they do is interesting. Like, her presence there is starting to screw things up because she's doing things that are like things that good people wouldn't do. Like, she litters. And then it like sort of screws up the world, like something is wrong. And then she finds out actually another person is there by mistake as well. And so it's all about trying to keep it a secret and making sure he doesn't blow it either. And that's about as far as I got. That was just like half of the first season or something. It's interesting. I would definitely recommend it, and I think I might keep watching it for now.
All right.
But
sounds
yeah,
interesting.
I mean, I like the concept of like the afterlife and exploring that a little bit. Yeah. So then there's Dave Chappelle's comedy special. Anyone watch that? Sticks and Stones?
No, I heard about it though.
I've seen it. I liked it.
So it's on Netflix. It got reviewed by like 5 people who trashed it. So it got a 0% critic rating. And then when it got released to the public for review, it's up to like 99%. And the main thing is
because he's like against like social justice politics or something.
He makes fun of like transgender people, gay people, racist jokes. Basically, he points out like, I can't say this, but I'm gonna say it, and like listen to how ridiculous this is. And you know, he does go after transgender people a little hard. I'm not saying he should have gone easier. I thought it was hilarious. And he's saying what like people think, like pretty much any other like sort of mental illness, we would say like, okay, if you say a person is mentally ill, pretty much any crazy thing they say, you're like, yeah, you're mentally ill. But when they're transgender, even if we recognize that they're mentally ill in like many other aspects, for some reason that is like, oh, but that's real. And like, I'm about to get a 0%, like I'm about to get Me Too, same as Dave Chappelle. But
yeah,
like, I think that's hilarious. And like, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know that I like racist jokes. It's not because I think racism is like, it's not that I'm racist, it's that I think racism is hilarious. One, like, people that are racist saying racist things, I think is like so funny. And the way people react when someone says something racist or something that sounds racist, I also think is funny, where everyone's like, oh, are we allowed to laugh at that? Did he just say what I think he said? Like to Jade one time, I'm not going to say what race, but I called a certain group of people avocados. And it sort of sounds racist, but it's not.
Jesus.
And her reaction was like, you can't say that. And I'm like, what did I say? What did I say? And like, no one can explain it. Like, I think that's so funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I think I laughed my hardest when he told that transgender joke about the Chinese people.
Yeah. I'll try to tell it. So I forget the exact premise. Do you remember, Everett?
It was he was saying like that transgenderism was funny. He's like, come on, like that's not a funny concept. Like if I was born, if I was a Chinese man but in this black body, you wouldn't think that was funny. Yeah,
and someone in the audience is like, no. And he's like, I think it would be pretty funny. You know, he's like a professional comedian. Like, he knows how to play it off. But he's like, yeah, I think it would be pretty funny. And then he goes, come on, if I was a black man and I was walking around, like, saying, I think I'm Chinese. And then he said it in, like, a Chinese accent. And he's like, everybody around here would be like, that's not you, that's not you. And then he's like, but I would say, that's how I feel inside. And he said it with, like, a Chinese accent.
Yeah, I remember when it was funny.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But that's true, though. I mean, that's why I think it's funny, is because there's truth in it. And what I disagree with is the fact that you can't even talk about it. Like, forget that it's a comedy special, but you can't even say, like, hold on a second. How come we can say this like it's real, but he can't pretend to be another race? That's crazy, and it's also insensitive. Like, why can't he do that? And you know, he took it on because he's Dave Chappelle. Like, he doesn't care. People are gonna watch his stuff no matter what. And to be honest, it's probably giving him more publicity than anything, because I heard about it and I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna watch it. And then I heard the controversy, so I'm like, well, I better watch it before we do this next episode so that I can talk about it. But otherwise, I would have caught it at some point down the line. But he's blowing up because of this.
Well, I know one of the reasons people panned it was because of what he was talking about in that special about abortion. Like, he came out and said,
say? I don't even remember.
He came out and said, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not necessarily for abortion, but I'm not against it either. And then he started explaining, like, listen, like, women should be able to do whatever the hell they want with their bodies without men giving them, like, any rulings or, you know, deciding the legislation. But at the same time, if women get that right, men shouldn't have to pay child support, because if women are allowed to kill their children, he can at least abandon them on the side of the street.
It's a good point. Now, I'm not talking about in terms of rape and stuff. Like, if you get raped and then the woman, like, strangely wants to keep the baby, I feel like that guy should have to pay child support. But yeah, like, if I'm the guy, like, you get the choice between killing it or not even killing it, in my opinion, but having it or not having it. He could at least be able to say, like, I'm gonna, like, let it live, but I'm not gonna be a dad to him. Like, I'm gonna be a bad dad. That's a much smaller choice than life or death. But I mean, yeah. And then the weird thing is, it's like a pro-abortion argument that he was making, and yet still the liberals are like, oh, you can't say that. And I'm like, I don't know how you guys feel, but part of me thinks it's a comedy special. You can say literally anything.
I mean,
and I don't take it seriously.
You know how I feel about it? I feel, if you've ever watched Dave Chappelle's old stuff, which I love, Dave Chappelle's one of the greatest comedians I've ever seen. I feel like people today have too soft of a skin to really appreciate him the way he's supposed to be appreciated. Like, the shit he used to say, like,
that's
in his
what he
old
said
specials,
in the special. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it. The shit he used to do and the shit he does now, like, it's not properly appreciated. It wouldn't fly today. Like, the stuff he used to do,
he was saying, like, comedy hasn't changed. The audience has changed. Like, the audience is the people that give him problems. It's not like the jokes. It's the people who can't, you can't say anything.
I'm going to do an impression tonight. And he goes something along the lines of, hey, I'm going to judge you for who you are, and if you do any bad thing ever, no matter when it happens, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, today, tomorrow, I'm going to find it, and I'm never going to let you hear the end of it. Who am I? And everyone in the audience yells, Trump. And he goes, nope, that's you, the audience, because you are the worst audience I have ever performed for in my life.
Oh, my God, the Michael Jackson bit that he did?
Oh, God, yeah.
So funny. He was talking about, like, I don't know if he raped the kids or not, and he's like, R. Kelly definitely raped those kids, whatever. But he's like, even if he did rape them, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, think about it. Those kids were getting their dick sucked by the king of pop. That's a pretty high bar. He's like, they'd be
Yeah.
they'd be going around campus like, "What'd you do this weekend?" He's like, "Yeah, Michael Jackson sucked my dick."
Yeah, like one of the things he said, wasn't it like a lot of people in the audience I know have been molested,
Yeah,
but it wasn't Michael Jackson.
yeah, it wasn't the King of Pop that did it. All you get are awkward Thanksgivings with your uncle or something.
Yeah, something like that. Also, the Jesse Smollett stuff was pretty funny too.
Yeah. I forget exactly what that was, but yeah, no, the special was great. I still think like Bill Burr's like 2012 stuff, I think maybe earlier was my more favorite specials of mine, but yeah, Dave Chappelle's was great, and yeah, I just like publicly, it's a comedy. I hear this a lot because I listen to Bill Burr's podcast. Like, everybody is laughing until you make that one joke that they're not okay with, and then he's not funny. Like, I'll make a black guy joke, I'll make a Mexican guy joke, I'll make a Trump joke, but I make a joke about lesbians and you're lesbian, now I'm not funny. And that's how it is with everything. Like, oh, we gotta see, he's not allowed to say abortion jokes. But when he was making fun of Jesse Smollett, you were fine. Or when he was making those Michael Jackson jokes, you don't care. Or even R. Kelly, you know, like those kids got molested. He actually raped like minors, right? So yeah, but no one cares. But abortion. So I don't know. And then like, can you even trust reviews? So 0%. Those reviewers gave 0%. Not one of them thought that was funny. Who are these people reviewing this?
I don't
It's
know.
a different time, dude. Like, you can't say these things. Like, you just can't. Like, I mean, you can, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird, right? Because like, I suspect the average person is like okay with a lot of humor and like recognizes like the difference between a joke and actually believing something, right? Like, if he was actually saying like, bro, Michael Jackson didn't do anything wrong, like, that's one thing. But like, he was making a funny joke, and like, there is some truth in that, where it's like, okay, like, it's a famous good person, like, I don't know. But the thing is that like,
Obviously, you don't want to be raped, but he's just saying, like, on the bright side, if you were gonna get molested, like, it's Michael Jackson.
yeah, but like, the thing is that like, the question is, I don't know, that goes into the question of like, how big is outrage culture, and how much is everyone just being like, ah, shit, this person did something wrong, we have to cut him off. Like, a big example is like, when a company like drops like someone because they're like, oh, this person did this horrible thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I fully believe the company does not give a fuck. Anyone who thinks these companies are like, oh my god, that's like, no, it's like, these are the people who are dumping shit in the water, who are like they don't give a fuck. They're just like, all right, this is a cost-cutting measure to appease people. That's literally all it is.
Right. And I'm not the first person to say this, but this stuff is why Trump got elected. Because see, I believe that a lot of the people on the left they seem to be smarter than the people on the right. But they seem to also be susceptible to the same kind of stupid, like, movements. And like, they'll still fall for that, like, superficial ideal thing, that whatever that idea is, like, they'll chase it. So on the left you have like all this cancel culture. It's like people are getting wrapped up in that with no information. Like, you don't need any information to suddenly be like outraged about something. And then on the right, they see Trump, and he's like making them think that he's going to actually change America to where you can get away with saying these things, and like he's going to reverse all of it, and they believe that. So then you have two sides of people like fighting each other over this issue of like, what can you say, what are you allowed to say, who can have a platform, and blah blah blah. And they're all just like morons, like a giant group of morons, and they can't see like Trump is full of shit, and the cancel culture can't see that you can't stop Trump, because all he has to do is say it, and as soon as you get outraged, you just gave him more attention.
Yeah, you push people away as well, because what happens is like, someone looks at something like when Bernie Sanders says, I want to cancel student loans, right? Like, that, there's a lot of reasonable, like, that's a good idea, okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons that makes a lot of sense, okay? But the problem is, when you go to someone and say that, the average person is like, okay, that makes sense. But then what they do is they come back and they see like, well, I like said the wrong pronoun, and now I'm going like, in trouble on the internet. And they're like, that's
Dead
fucking
name.
crazy. I don't
Yeah.
want to be with that. Like, and so what happens is it just pushes people. And there's this thing now, like, being moderate is, like, bad. Like, oh, if you're moderate, you're crazy. It's like, no,
That's
most
because
people are moderate in most things.
You're supposed to, everybody should be moderate. You're supposed to look at each individual issue and make a sensible choice. That means that you could land on either side for either issue. You can't just pick a side and then hate everything the other side does, because one, the country cannot make any progress, and two, no one is 100% right about anything. Like, I'm not, this is one of the reasons why I don't really get involved in politics, because I'm not on the left. Like, if you go to liberals, they're going to say I'm a Republican. If I go to Republican, they're going to say I'm a liberal. So what am I? Nothing. And nothing, nowhere to go, and no one to talk to about it. Because I don't believe we should open immigration for every single person, but I believe that we should, like, make our system better, because right now it's incentivizing just skipping the line. So you want to fix that, but at the same time you can't just let every single person in. But so where does that leave me? I got nowhere to go. Like, I can't side with anybody. And right now, that's why, like, with politics, I'm basically just about out for me now. Like, I stopped thinking about the greater good, and I'm like, Bernie Sanders wants to cancel my debt, he has my vote. And I don't even know if it's the truth, but no one else is saying they're going to do that. So even if he doesn't do it, like, I'm
At least
still
this
where
way
I am.
you know.
Like, I'm still at square one. I'm not voting because I think Trump is going to ruin the world, or like, we got to vote, get a woman in there, or Trump is so bad that we have to get our side in. It's like, nah, fuck that. Like, anyone that genuinely likes to talk politics in this country seems like a moron to me. Like, the way that they latch on to specific, like, and they get, like, if you perk up when someone brings up politics, I think you're stupid. I'm like, you're so dumb. You're actually about to pick a side and pick a fight, and you don't even know what I'm gonna say. And most of the time when you talk to these people face to face, they're either, like, clearly already too far gone, or they're perfectly pleasant because they don't act like that in real life, which is even crazier when you think about it. Like, all this shit is digital. People are getting outraged. People hate you. Like, when Jesse Smollett walks down the street, does anyone say anything to him?
I don't know.
Like,
Probably not. I guess they would now. It's famous enough, and
We just lost
everyone on. Okay, well, everyone on the left and right is fucking angry at Jesse Smollett, because
but
like
do you
the
even
left is
really
angry
know his
'cause-
face? You know his name. You know what he did. Do you know his face?
I kind of know what he looks like. Because I've seen a lot of pictures of him.
Just
when I was, like,
vaguely.
reading the articles. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd be able to, like, be like, hey, you're that guy. And even if I did know it, I don't know if I'd be like, it probably wouldn't be worth it for me to, like, yell at him on the street.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you gonna say?
You're a piece of shit. It's like, well, what, it's
I
like,
I could picture some black guys, like, making fun of him, but aside from that, like, what? What are people gonna say? If you saw Trump, like, let's just say he wasn't president. This is after his presidency. He's walking down the street, no security, no one has really recognized him. He's got, like, the Marvel, like, hoodie and sunglasses on. What are you gonna say to this guy? I don't really have a whole lot. Like, I'm not gonna get political. Like, what am I supposed to say? And people act like there's a war going on outside. You walk down the street, neighbor's Republican, neighbor's Democrat. Like, to be honest, the left is more hostile in person. I think if they hear you, like, talk about Trump, they like want to attack you. But you don't really. I don't see Republican people attacking. But it could just be where I live. I don't know. Unless you go to the stupid, like, and then there's, like, the straight pride thing, and everyone on the left is, like, condemning it. Why? Like, don't you understand that they're morons? And also, if you don't talk about it, what, Jade?
They lose steam.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing
also,
happens.
it's like, if you don't talk about it, what happens is they'll realize they're all.
See aggressive left because we live in LA and we're just not going to see that.
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay.
Can you leave?
Bye.
Did she feel the need to get involved with the politics?
Yeah, because she conveniently, like, ignored the things that I said that refuted her, and yeah, there's the left for you. But yeah, okay. So you think this is the first time in history a bunch of morons, like, congregated for a cause that had no point, and like rallied.
No, what you have to do is you don't even give them any attention, because if you give them no attention, that's going to break apart because they're idiots. What they're rallying about is stupid, and like they're all like morons. But when you give them attention, what happens is you get these polarized arguments, and then some people are like, well, I'm being attacked for trying to have a nuance or to like say something, so I'm going to go to their side now, and it's like the whole thing just becomes a disaster.
Yeah.
To be fair though, there are some groups of people who need to be dealt with, like really dealt with. Like there's some people living in the north, like the Northwest, who are these armed militias who are like stockpiling guns and like training, and like that's a problem. That's
the government.
Yeah, the
Are
government
we supposed
needs
to tweet it at them?
No. What I'm saying is the government's aware of these people.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there are some things where it's like, okay, keep your eyes out.
Whenever I think someone's like about to change the world or something like that, I always remember like anybody you trust anything to, remember these are people that wake up tired, they have fights with their wives or husbands, like they lead normal lives. You can't rely on anybody to be like larger than life.
Unless their entire life is consumed by what they do.
Which
like
a lot of people are consumed
often,
by Twitter, yeah.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like every so often you see or like read about these men in history. They're never married, they have no kids, they just do one thing. They tend to be generals. Like they do one thing, this is what they do. And they're fucking good at it. Yeah. And like on that could be interesting if like you can only be a high-ranking public servant if this is all your life is. Yeah. Like you can't have these distractions.
Right. Like when I think about they want to hire armed security for schools. But those are guys that come to work tired, you know, they're lazy, they have like other issues going on all the time. It's like you can't just assume because like in your mind it's like a nice picture of things that how they should be, that it would work. And that like people kind of assume like they come up with ideas and solutions where you have to forget people forget that everyone's just like them. Like you might see certain issues a different way, but we're actually all the same, and most people are just trying to get through the day. There's no war outside, and it's almost all digital. Like, do you think Dave Chapelle is getting yelled at right now?
On the internet, for sure.
But it doesn't exist when you walk out the door.
Probably not. But see, the thing is, like, eventually it will exist when you walk out the door. Because if you grow up seeing, like, this is how we address problems, like, you've seen the videos in, like, Oregon or Washington of, like, those weird, like, right-wing nut jobs fighting, like, Antifa.
But there are always going to be nut jobs.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, it's a slippery slope before everyone becomes a nut job. See, like, you're saying, like, it doesn't really matter, and I agree with you, it doesn't matter, but, like, there is an effect. Like, if you grow up and you're told online all the time, this is how you act, like, some people are going to act like that in the real world. And it only requires some people to start acting like that in the real world for everyone else to follow. Like, people are really good at following in a group. Like, it's all true. You need is a few nuts to do something in public, and other people will start joining in. And then you start having a problem. Like, then you could get to war in the streets.
Now, think about all these people that are, like, shooting up schools and stuff. What have they really changed about the country?
I mean, in a negative aspect, they've changed a shit ton, I guess.
What?
I mean, we're like, you said the other day, you're like, when you go out to a movie theater, you're like, am I going to get shot right now?
Yeah, but you still go, right?
Yeah, but, like, I think about it in ways I didn't when I was younger.
You going to go to concerts?
Yeah, I go to a concert. Still? Yeah, and it's because I'm like, you can't live that scared. You'd go insane if you lived like that. You just have to be like, yeah, I might get shot.
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on.
The new political segment will air in every episode.
Yeah, no, and we're gonna get like ripped apart by the one person who doesn't like what we said. That's why, like, even when I get like negative reviews on my action figure things, like, it's not that I don't consider the criticism, but if one person gets upset, that doesn't mean that I should stop doing that one thing. Like, sometimes it does, and you have to just consider it. But if I make a transgender joke and you just didn't like that transgender joke, that doesn't mean that I stop transgender jokes, in my opinion. It just means, like,
well, it also doesn't mean that you like you hate transgender people.
No, it doesn't.
Dislike them. It's like, it's just a joke, man.
How did we get to this point where people actually think like they're individual opinion matters, because I don't feel that way about myself.
It's weird because I feel like most people think that their individual opinion matters and doesn't matter simultaneously. Because you hear it all the time. Like, everyone agrees that no one really has any power. Like that it doesn't matter, like, what you say, your leaders are going to do whatever. Like, most people agree with that. It seems like the opinion now is, like, if enough of us hold the same opinion, and that's why can't be as much difference of opinion now. Because the whole thing now is, like, everyone needs to agree so we can get other people to do what we say.
Yeah, the other side. But, like, compare this to Ghost Recon. Like, we'll skip ahead. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Like, my individual opinion is that game is shit.
I think people get angry at you because they're scared that if your individual opinion picks up weight and people agree with you, then what's going to happen is that, like, their opinion becomes wrong. Because a lot of people... It's like what happened. I made a post, you made a post, I have 600 upvotes, you got platinum on your post about... So clearly a lot of people agree with us. So I feel like the people who are like the game, they're, like, angry because now they're like, well, all these people dislike the game. That might mean that I'm wrong. They don't want to confront that reality.
Right.
So instead they're like, fuck you.
But if I don't like something, why? Like, for a lot of people, the equivalent would be they're going to get the game canceled or something. But I don't feel that way. I'm like, I hate this. I'm going to say that I hate it. But I don't care if you also hate it or if you also hate it. And I don't want the people to, like, never work again. And, like, you know, like, when did that happen? When did that become the thing to do? To cancel? I mean, that's exactly what Dave Chapelle talks about. He starts the special with that. Everett, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just
okay.
listening.
All right, Terminator. Let's talk about the Dark Fate trailer. It popped up right after we did
garbage.
Yeah.
It just looks so tired. Like, the concept is so tired.
It does not look good. I keep telling people this.
I don't know. It's weird.
It really doesn't look good to me. I just think it looks... I think it looks... I don't know. I just think it looks bad.
Like, if it's a slow week or something, we'll see it. Otherwise, I don't care. Like, if it coincides with, like, another big release, I got no interest.
Not only that, but, like, I don't know. It just... I really hate these movies. Like,
Somebody
the last
was
ones have been
asking-
so bad. I rewatched Terminator 2 recently. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Somebody asked, do you think that the Salvation movie was, like, a better direction for the sequels?
Yeah, honestly. I like Salvation. It didn't feel like a Terminator movie. It was more like a war movie. But, like, I'm okay with exploring the war against the machines and, like, what the future's like. And at least it was, like, kind of grounded, and it had, like, a general theme, and, like, it made sense. It was entertaining. These new ones are just, like, nonsense. They're all over the place. Like,
I actually don't think that you can do more than one movie past Salvation, because humans fighting robots, you can only do it
they either
once.
have to win or lose.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't want to see, like, 12 movies.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's the reason we keep seeing this same tired, like, the Terminator's back for the future, whatever the fuck they're doing this time. Looking at news, so last week I forgot to scroll down, so we skipped a bunch of news. Actually, it's like 3 things, but we talked about Bucky having a shorter haircut.
Yeah.
So here's a new piece of news. U.S. agent. The guy that was in, what was that zombie German World War II movie?
Overlord?
Yeah. There was like a sergeant, a blonde sergeant. Do you remember him?
Oh, yeah, I know who you were talking about.
So he's playing U.S. agent, which is like the government's choice for Captain America, it seems like. So Sam Wilson has been chosen by Cap himself, although I don't know if people know that. But so he's being Captain America, but then they're like, no, we got this other guy and he's white, and we're going to give him like the super soldier serum thing, like whatever version of it we have, and he's going to be like our guy, so can you give us the shield? And I guess Falcon is going to be like fighting for his right to be Captain America. So that's kind of an interesting twist. I like that. I'm into that.
All right.
Then there was WandaVision.
Okay.
You guys saw the poster?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, if you look close, there's actually the silhouette of the shadow of Scarlet Witch's headdress from the comics. It's like, yeah, that's not hard to miss, but everyone's like thinks it's like a big clue. But obviously, okay, it's going to be set. You guys have seen that Vision comic where he's living like in a nuclear family, and all his
Yeah.
kids look like Vision. So it's going to
Yeah.
be based on that, obviously. And it's going to be based on that, obviously. And clearly, Wanda is going to go through like some mental weird shit that's going to lead into the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be great.
It could
The
be
other
really
weird
good.
thing is that Kat Dennings is going to be in WandaVision. She was Darcy in the Thor movies.
Yeah, I
Why?
heard about that. They're getting like a lot of like weird secondary Marvel characters for it.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I don't know how she fits in. And I don't know. They must be doing some jump in time or something. But cool. Like, I'm all for like more crossover stuff. Especially if you know it's all going to be like weird, sort of dreamlike stuff. So, all right. And then there was actually a pretty slow news week otherwise. So here's some like nonsense news. Kristen Stewart made some comments about being an openly gay superhero on the big screen, and she mentioned Marvel, and she said that it was literally just a big name conglomerate type thing. She didn't actually mean Marvel. So there's no like, she hasn't talked to anyone about being an openly gay superhero in Marvel, which is what people. It's a slow news week basically. She said, that's been a conversation that's always existed. I've always radically rejected. It's nice to be able to talk about that in a way that people really understand now, instead of sounding like I'm being crazy, like, don't put me in a box. Ambiguity is a cool thing. Now it's like, duh, before I had to say it was like some far out idea. Now it's more on the main stage, which is rad. So then she says, so Anthony Mackie was asked about it, and he's like, they tell him that she wants to be a gay superhero, and he goes, I think she should be the gay female Falcon Captain America. So, yeah. Whatever. Yeah, like, who cares? I get you want representation, but I don't want to see a character whose, like, only existence is that they're gay. Like, super, like, forget the powers, forget the origin, forget all that, but as long as they have the cookie cutter, like, basically the Mysterio stuff, like, oh, weird suit, and unexplainable powers, and they're gay, and there's your character. Now enjoy it, because we love diversity. Like, stupid. So, the director of Shang-Chi talks about why he picked Simu Liu. He says he's awesome. There's just an undefined thing that when somebody pops, everybody's in agreement, and they're just really excited. And I guess he's also worked with Brie Larson a bunch. And they asked him if she would show up in his movie, and he says there's always room for her, but we'll see. So probably not. For some DC news, Mahershala Ali has been rumored to have been discussing playing Commissioner Gordon in the Matt Reeves Batman movie.
I mean,
Interesting
he's a
casting.
good enough actor for it, I guess.
Yeah, and since none of it really matters, sure, go for it. I mean, I don't care that he's black. Do you guys?
No.
No.
All I care about is if he does a good job acting in the role.
I thought, wasn't he cast as something else?
Yeah, he's Blade in the MCU.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just like, wait, what?
But it's also like, is Commissioner Gordon just going to be like an actual detective going, what can we do about this? And then Batman saves the day, because that role can honestly be played by anybody. Like, they had J.K. Simmons before, and he's a great actor too, but what did we get from that? It could be
30
anyone.
seconds of him saying like, it's not the Batman.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, bonus points for getting a good actor. And I'm not really going to give bonus points for the fact that he's black, although some people will. But also, nothing sounds interesting to me about that. The Batman's plot is rumored to be like a murder mystery, a brutal murder. The Dark Knight tracking down some of his most well-known rogues in order to interrogate them. Each piece of new information leads him to another baddie, as previously reported. They will be the Penguin, the Riddler, Mad Hatter, Catwoman, Firefly, and Two-Face.
Ooh. I'm excited
Okay,
to see Firefly.
but
on
that
screen,
piece of like each piece of information will lead him to a new one. I'll tell you, like, from experience, that's hard to write well, that type of story. Because you could literally just shoehorn it in, like, yeah, I got this glove. I found it at the Iceberg Lounge. You know, the Penguin? And then he goes to the Penguin, and he's like, yeah, I got it from this guy who had a whip mark across his face. Like, if it's going to be like that, don't do it. Because that sounds terrible.
Yeah. It sounds like an Arkham game, to be honest. Like, how that
which
would
isn't
play
bad,
out.
you know, to have him, like, fight people in one night. But the Arkham games, like, the reason he did that was because you wanted extra boss fights.
Yeah.
And then Catwoman casting, they're saying that she might be a black woman, which is whatever. I always pictured her.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I pictured her as more Hispanic. Like if you were gonna put a flavor to her, like I always saw her more as Hispanic than black. But whatever. I don't think studios are getting brownie points for casting Hispanic people right now. So, the what if episode count. So you remember like they kind of announced that every movie was going to get a what if episode in the MCU?
Yeah, but it was like vague, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he says the guy who's directing them says that's a rumor. Kevin said that we will be exploring every movie in a new way, but not every episode is about one movie, if that makes sense.
So some of the episodes are about multiple movies?
On the reel, shown at D23, there is the image of Star-Lord T'Challa because we wanted to see if the worlds of Black Panther and the Guardians of the Galaxy collided. Oh, what if the worlds? That was taking two universes, 2 to 3 movies, kind of twisting them in new ways. Yeah. So it's not corresponding to one episode. That's not the objective. The objective is to hopefully see the majority of characters from all 23 movies. You'll see multiple characters in an episode.
Oh.
So, like, it's obviously, it's not going to be at least 23 episodes. Like what he said.
I suspect it'll be like 10.
Yeah. What he said about, like, Guardians and Black Panther. I mean, I know that's a weird mashup, but that doesn't sound good to me.
No, I'm more interested because I saw the stills. Did you see like the still images that were released from them?
Yeah, female Captain America.
Yeah, but like there's zombie Captain America. There's like Captain America where he's in like an Ironmonger suit. Like those, like I don't know. That looks okay, maybe, but I don't know. It's strange.
Right. Yeah, so I don't care so much about that. And okay, last week did we talk about Joker being in Mortal Kombat 11?
Yeah,
Yes, we
sort of.
did.
And he looked like a cosplayer.
Yeah. Okay, well, I forgot to report that apparently the Telltale franchise is being revived. Like it got bought by another company, and they're gonna bring back some of the IPs. So like especially the original ones, like The Wolf Among Us, that was pretty popular. That was based on a video game. And then it became another video game, but it's a Telltale game. But then there's also like the Batman, Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't know where those landed right now. So maybe those games are coming back, maybe not. I personally thought that they were good games. He also said he believes... Yeah, he believes in the binging model, whoever the new guy is. So before it was like one episode once a month or something, 5 episodes total. I guess they're going to just release them all at once with this, which I think is better. I think that's better, yeah, for something like that. And then we talked about the Ghost Recon beta. I mean, we could talk for hours on this. I don't think we necessarily need to, but they turned it into a looter shooter, but kind of a half-assed one.
A level-based looter shooter.
Yeah. And then they
Division
seem to,
3.
They half-assed a lot of like what made Wildlands great, and like the beta was it was ugly. The map is like pretty bland, if you ask me. Some people like it, but I thought it was bland. The gunplay is decent. Animations are terrible. Driving is terrible. Menus are terrible. Customization is terrible. Well, the character customization. People like the gear outfit and stuff, but like I told you guys this, and I said it on Reddit too. I got like in Wildlands, if you wanted a ghillie suit, you could just wear one.
Yeah.
Now I got a random loot for ghillie pants. Not the ghillie suit, I just have the pants. And if I want to get the rest, I have to just keep playing and hope I grind for it and get lucky. And like they don't even have hoods on the ghillie suits now. Like,
It's not
what the
good,
hell?
dude.
Yeah, what
It's not
is
good.
what are they doing?
And like they don't give you at the start of Wildlands you had access to a wide range of camos. Now
Yeah.
at the start of this you have like 4, 5, 3 of them are absolute garbage. There's only 2
Yeah.
real camo patterns, one of which I can't use. So we all ended up using Tiger Digital US Air Force.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
so sad.
And then so I canceled my pre-order, and then I seem to have been like targeted by Ubisoft because I like lost access as soon as I made that post. And ever do you still have access to it?
Yeah, I uninstalled it the other day, but
Oh,
as
okay.
far as I know, I canceled mine and I still have access, so.
Yeah, I mean I'll play Wildlands till they shut Wildlands down, and then I don't care, whatever. It's a shame. All right, I don't really have anything else.
Oh, wait, I forgot to mention something earlier. Out of curiosity, at the beginning of your guys' showing of it, did they show the Birds of Prey teaser?
Yes,
What did you guys think of that?
Oh yeah, that was so fucking annoying.
Thought it was terrible.
I was with a friend, and so like I'm like, oh okay, it's starting, and then my friend she sees DC, she goes, DC, it is part of the DC universe, and I was like, no, and then fucking Harley Quinn came on. I was like, oh god, no! I knew what it was. I was like, oh god, no! I thought this wasn't gonna be made. I didn't think it would ever see the light of day. And she's like, what? And then like it was just about. I think David Tennant was in it. Like,
is that
it
the
was,
thing that we already saw like a few months ago?
Yeah, it's Birds of Prey, bro. It's that's what it is. It's the green ivy, poison ivy. Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't they put out a teaser like a while ago?
This was like an it
this was
specific one, though, right?
Different. Yeah, this was
Oh,
different.
okay. Is this the emancipation of Harley Quinn thing? Is it that
I
one?
guess because she's like, I'm sick of clowns.
Yeah,
Okay.
they showed like 10 seconds of just various footage.
So
And then they said
yeah.
coming sometime next year.
Yeah. I didn't see it, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, yeah. Be blessed. Be blessed.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So,
Yeah. So anyway, go check out
What's
Dave
the-
Chappelle's comedy special.
Plan for next week? Do we have a tentative idea?
No. Nothing's really coming out. There's
Well,
Ad
Joker
Astra, which
comes
I kind
out,
of want
like-
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and then the
October
Joker
4th.
movie. Yeah.
Does Ad Astra come out after Joker?
Because I want to see Ad Astra.
I mean, I don't have huge high hopes for it, but it's like it's like the most interesting thing coming out right now besides Joker.
August 29th. Oh no, September
No.
20th. My bad.
Okay, so that's
that was the
week
original
before.
release.
So we might still have 2 weeks. I looked up like movie releases, but let me just.
So maybe
look it
we'll
up
just
right
pick something from our big backlog, you know?
now. Yeah, we do have a backlog. Let me see. Let me look at what's opening Thursday night this week. Theaters. Thursday. Downton Abbey movie. Jesus Christ.
Oh god, there's a Downton Abbey movie. Is that gonna be
I'm
any
gonna have
good?
to say no to that one.
Yeah, there's nothing. By the way, I heard Ryan Johnson's movie Knives Out is actually really good.
Really?
I mean, I don't really.
Oh,
wanna
it's the
see
one
it.
that looks like Clue.
The one with Chris Evans in it.
Oh, that one. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Well, it's getting good reviews,
Oh.
but I don't know. I kind of hated his Star Wars movie, so I don't know if I want to like pay for that. But
Yeah, give him some support. Yeah.
yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.
All right.
See you.
Later.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Iron Coop Fights Movies. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and most importantly, review our podcast on iTunes so that we can spread the show around. To contact the show, you can reach us at theironcoob@gmail.com and on Instagram at theironcoob. Join us for another edition of the Iron Coop Fights Movies.